From over-the-top home run celebrations, sucker punches, and pizza? These are the most disrespectful moments in MLB history. Did I mention respecting your coach? Ted Lilly, a two-time All-Star pitcher who played 15 seasons with 6 different teams, definitely didn't get the memo. He had a particularly bad start in 2006, prompting his manager John Gibbons to pull him in the second inning. Starting pitchers hate handing over the ball to their manager, but they're taught to respect the decision. Instead, Lilly told Gibbons, "Here's an F and a U." Gibbons followed Lilly into the tunnel, and moments later, the Blue Jays trainer and other players were seen rushing down the tunnel. They both denied fists were thrown, but that seems a little unlikely given the reaction.
I don't think John had a bloody nose. I don't know how that would have happened.
He wasn't happy the fact that I took him out. I wasn't happy the way the game was going. That's basically it. We've hashed all that out. That's pretty much all I'm going to say.
Speaking of reactions, Alex Rodriguez to an infield fly in a game against the Blue Jays was downright disrespectful.
Howie Clark on the left side of the infield is there, and the ball falls in.
The 3-time MVP isn't exactly known for his respect of the game. Jays third baseman Howie Clark claims he heard, "I got it," and backed up to let the shortstop John McDonald make the catch. I'm no audio forensic expert, but it does sound like that's the case. How did A-Rod respond?
Yeah, I just said, "Huh." I said, "Huh," that's it.
There's a fine line between disrespectful and smart, and A-Rod had straddled it for the majority of his career.
Off the end of the bat. Arroyo. The ball gets loose.
He was eventually ruled out, which is the correct call. But check out the incredible acting job when he's informed of the news. There's no acting in our next disrespectful moment. The Blue Jays have won 2 World Series, and it's certainly hard to top Joe Carter's World Series walk-off home run in '93. But this next Joey Bats moonshot is straight up disrespectful. But that's not even the craziest part of this game, because half an inning earlier, this happened.
Russell Harper's thinking the same thing. Look at this, ball's dead. Dead ball, the ball.
The home plate umpire originally called it a dead ball, but after a challenge from the Rangers manager, Jeff Bannister, the call was reversed and the Rangers took the lead. Fans littered the field with garbage, and play was suspended.
Burn you.
Emotions were high in the bottom of the 7th, and well, you know the rest. Fast forward the following season, and tensions were still high after Bautista took an aggressive slide into second base.
Beltre ducked off a tough hop. Got a foul second. Bautista picked on the wrong guy.
If Bautista's slide can be viewed as somewhat disrespectful, what Odor does next is borderline criminal.
Bautista got the worst of that exchange.
And real quick, if you don't love baseball, then, don't subscribe. Otherwise, what the hell are you doing? Smash that sub button.
Odor dropping down. Rodriguez said no. Whoa. I think Bautista got all he could handle with that. Odor's now.
To Bautista's credit, he managed to somewhat hold his ground and got right back up. Wouldn't be me.
Teams met in the ALDS. That's where Jose Bautista had the bat flip that we saw over and over again. Bautista's going to second. The Rangers didn't like the slide.
Now, Bryce Harper is one of the most entertaining and hated figures in all of baseball. But after being rung up by Angel Hernandez, he took things to another level.
2-pitch. Let's low it in. Ball. Oh, they said he went around. He's going to be out of this game if he keeps this up. He is out of this game.
There's no doubt Harper deserved to be ejected for his behavior.
Somebody's getting a souvenir.
And there goes the helmet. Perhaps the real disrespectful moment was Hernandez's check swing call.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness.
That is just terrible.
Hopefully the robots can do more than call balls and strikes. Now, getting into it with the ump is one thing, but what about your own teammate?
Then Bryce Harper will hit it in the air to left. Something going on in the dugout.
See Papelbon saying run the ball out. And Bryce saying you got to be kidding me. And then Papelbon went right after Harper.
Papelbon is one of the rare players hated more than the two-time NL MVP. And he had only been with the team for 2 months, while Harper was the franchise player. That's a clown move, bro. If you didn't believe Harper was among the most hated players in the league, let's check in and see how Cole Hamels feels about him. Harper was just 19 when he made his debut, and apparently Hamels believed he needed to be knocked down a peg.
Ooh, and the first pitch hits him right in the back.
Hamels later admitted to hitting Harper on purpose. Albert Bell was an absolute unit of a man with a build more suited to be a linebacker than a baseball player. And honestly, this hit here is about as hard as most hits on the gridiron.
There it is, Vina. Oh, this is just like the play in the 3rd inning.
What's even wilder is the fact Bell didn't really seem apologetic for what should have started a bench-clearing brawl. But what Pedro Martinez did to Yankees coach Don Zimmer is somehow even more disrespectful.
Oh my goodness. Don Zimmer and Pedro Martinez.
Martinez, recognizing the much older Zimmer, slowly waddling in his direction, gently shoves the old fella out of his way. Martinez has since said that he feels regret for what happened, but what else could he have done in the situation?
There hasn't been any other moment where I felt worse in my life. I will tell you in my life than that moment. And that moment led to a lot more.
Baseball is a game with many unwritten rules. One is not to pimp a home run while up big with a position player on the mound.
High fly, center field. Going back is Refsnyder, still going back, and he is giving up a home run.
White Sox player Yermin Mercedes said to hell with your unwritten rules. I'm here to hit bombs and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Not surprisingly, Mercedes was thrown at in the next game.
Behind him.
The Atlanta Braves' reaction to this Carlos Gomez home run probably would have been more appropriate for the Twins.
And he hits that one high and deep left center field, way back and gone.
But just wait and see what catcher Brian McCann does.
And McCann getting face-to-face with Gomez. He has not stepped on the plate yet. Now Reed Johnson comes.
It's worth noting that this was more than a decade ago before bat flips became the norm. Despite its many rules, at its core, baseball is a simple game. You cannot, however, get a runner out by throwing a bat at him.
The barrel of the bat comes back at Roger Clemens and he fires.
I know this can be confusing. Just ask Roger Clemens, who gives an incredible excuse for throwing a piece of broken bat at Mike Piazza. Clemens, after the game, said he thought the bat was the ball, which is absurd on so many levels that I can't even begin to explain why. This is the same dude who claimed teammate Andy Pettitte misremembered him using HGH, so it's par for the course for Clemens. I'm not sure why, but it feels more disrespectful to have a slice of pizza hurled towards your head than a broken bat.
Coming is Anderson, and interfered with, no. Into the stands, the umpire ruling Tim Timmons.
Yes, a sawed-off bat is dangerous, but there's just something that feels so wrong about being hit with a pizza. How are you supposed to explain that to the missus?
Coming is Anderson, and interfered with, no. Into.
We've seen sucker punches, a huge shoulder tackle, and thrown bats, but spitting in another man's face, that's a whole nother level of disrespect.
Alomar and Davy Johnson come out. Watch Robbie. He looks like he spits in Hirschbeck's face.
In Alomar's defense, the called strike 3 is one of the worst I've ever seen. If you like these moments, check out this video right here. These are the times umpires straight up ruin the MLB.